So the gods are engaging in psychological warfare with three very powerful demons. And what makes these demons powerful is they've got no sense of identity. They've got no conditioning. And the gods are about to try the strategy of giving them an ego sense, and in this way they can be overcome. So it's clearly an allegorical story about how the identification with an ego, with egoistic notions, weakens you. And what it does is it actually weakens your sense of being. The attention is constantly being diverted from its own nature, and it's like it's siphoning off our strength, our completeness, if you like, our wholeness, and it leaves us vulnerable to being hijacked by all sorts of notions and cravings and all the rest of it. Vasistha continued. Having said thus, the Creator Brahma vanished. The gods rested in their abodes for a while, in preparation for a fresh onslaught on the demons. The renewed fighting between the armies of the gods and the demons was even more fierce than the previous one. There was terrible destruction everywhere. This continued involvement in fighting generated in the three demons the basic notion of I am. Even as a mirror reflects an object held close to it, one's behaviour reflects as the ego sense in one's consciousness. This is an interesting one. Awareness is like a mirror. And because everything is experienced within it. And if we can imagine a mirror being able to think and have a good look at what's going on inside it, what's being reflected within it, and then it starts identifying with what's going on inside it, saying, oh, I don't like this, or this is a bad turn of events and all the rest of it, starts commenting it and getting emotionally caught up. It forgets its nature as a mirror. It's a bit like when we're watching the movie screen or a television screen. We're usually completely oblivious as to the fact that that's what we're doing. We're not thinking, I am looking at a TV screen or I am looking at a movie screen. We're getting caught up with what's going on it. And it's the same with our awareness. Awareness, everything is reflected in awareness. We are the mirror, and we forget that we're the mirror. And we get caught up with what is happening within the mirror. And there's actually a name for this in Buddhism. It's called the wisdom of, it's called the mirror-like wisdom. It's when you realize your nature is as a mirror. However, if this behaviour is held at a distance, this is in apostrophes, however, if this behaviour is held at a distance from consciousness and there is no identification with such behaviour, the ego sense does not arise. In other words, if you realise that this is happening at a distance, it's not really at a distance, but it's at a distance from your own essential nature. And then the ego sense does not arise. We don't identify with what's going on within it. Once this ego sense arose, there quickly followed the desire for the prolongation of life in the body, acquisition of wealth, health, pleasure, etc. These desires greatly debilitated their personality. Then there arose confusion in their minds, which in turn gave rise to feelings of, this is mine, and this is my body. All these inevitably resulted in inefficiency and inability to do their own work. They were greatly attached to eating and drinking. Objects gave them feelings of pleasure and thus robbed them of their freedom. With the loss of freedom, their courage also went, and they experienced fear. They were terribly worried at the very thought, "We shall die in this war." The gods took advantage of this situation and began to attack these demons. The 3 demons who were possessed by fear of death fled. When the demon armies saw that their invincible protectors had fled before the invading gods, they were thoroughly demoralized. The demons fell by the thousands. When the demon Sambara heard that his army had been routed by the gods, he was furious. Referring to the 3 invincible demons, Dhamma, Vyala and Kata, he demanded, "Where have they gone?" Afraid of his wrath, these 3 demons took refuge in the nethermost world. There, the servants of the god of death, Yama, gave them refuge and also 3 girls to marry. That was nice. They lived in the netherworld for a long time. One day they were visited by Yama himself without his paraphernalia. They failed to recognize and honor him. Angered, Yama dispatched them to the most dreadful hells. After suffering there, and after a number of incarnations in different subhuman species, they now live as fish in a lake in Kashmir.